This afternoon, we are so lucky we were able to catch up on the phone with Dee from Foster Forest Wildlife Orphanage. They are a local animal rescue. And Dee, thank you so much for taking the time today to answer your phone and talk to us.
My pleasure.
Amazing. And so the reason that I wanted to call you, Dee, initially I'd reached out to Foster Forest Wildlife just saying, hey, is there any chance that you guys have a bat expert? And they told us that that was you. So earlier this month, there was a news story that went on our radio station and on inquinty.ca, and it was all about a cemetery in Picton installing a bat house. And it mentioned the fact that Bat Week runs from October 24th to the 31st. And I've wondered about installing a bat house on my property before, but don't know anything about them. So thank goodness we've got you, Dee, to call. So you can tell us all about bat houses. Question number one is, what is a bat house and how do they help the little creatures?
Okay, a bat house is just exactly what it says. It's a house for bats. It's specifically designed to attract bats and add to their comfort.
Incredible. And so how do they help the bats out? Do they need more places to stay?
Well, more and more as we destroy their habitat, yes, they need more places to stay. And if we want them out of our attics, they need more places to stay.
Yeah, if you put a bat house on your property, you're probably a lot less likely to have one in your home.
Well, at least it would give them an alternative.
Yeah, and I know there are lots of benefits to installing a bat house on your property. What are some of the good things that could come from having one around your house?
Well, the biggest thing is the number of bugs that they will eat in a night, which is thousands. The other part of the eating the bugs, just so the bugs are gone, is great, but the fact that the bugs also cannot spread diseases, it makes it a double bonus.
Yeah, no kidding. And pest control, bug control, especially if you're around like kind of a damp area. I know my property is surrounded by marsh area. And where would be the ideal place to install a bat house? Do you put them on a tree?
You put them high up. They need a lot of sun. 8 to 10 hours sun a day is the best. But as much as possible, you usually hang them on the south or the east side of a tree, a house, a barn. They have to be really high. And we're talking 20 feet, 30 feet. You know, you put it 6 feet up, they're not going to go in it.
No, they need to be up really high. They need to have a lot of exposure to sun. And so for some people, that's not attaching them to trees. It's actually putting them up on posts, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, incredible. And how many bats can use one bat house?
It would depend entirely on the size of the bat house.
Okay.
You can layer them so that there's different chambers, and you can have one chamber or you can have 10 chambers.
Mm-hmm, but it's not like if you have one bat house, you're only going to be helping one bat. They're not super territorial creatures, right?
No, they colonize, so they would be more than happy to share some space.
Very cool. And is there a reason why we need to help the bats? Are any bats endangered?
All the bats in Ontario are species at risk. We have 3 that are endangered. So, yes, we have to help them.
Yeah, we do need to help these little critters. And there's so many benefits to putting a bat house on your property. Is there an ideal property to put one on? Like, is it you need to have a huge chunk of land? Do you need to not be in a really dense neighborhood? Like, are there ideal properties to install these houses?
Well, when bats are looking for a place to live, they're looking for the same things anything else is looking for. They're looking for food, water, and shelter. So if you've got a lot of mosquitoes or a lot of moths, you're already way up there on the list of places that could house some bats.
You're in a desirable location for the bats. Okay.
Exactly.
Very interesting. And if somebody wanted to get one, if I decided today I want to install a bat house on my property, where do you get one?
Good question.
I know I've seen online, there are some places, there are lots of plans that you can find online if you are savvy enough to build them yourself. And I've also seen them on just online order websites. I don't want to say the big word Amazon, but I know I've seen them on Amazon.
Yes, yeah, you can buy kits locally at like your Home Hardware, places like that. They're smaller houses usually, but they work. If you follow the directions on hanging them. Up until this past year, we sold bat houses, but unfortunately our builder is no longer in the area.
Oh, so maybe if there's a savvy woodworking person listening to this interview who would be willing to make bat houses, maybe they could get in touch with you guys through Foster Forest Wildlife Orphanage.
Yep, absolutely. We could definitely use a new builder.
Yeah, high school students, if you're taking wood shop class and you're able to build these bat boxes, do this for volunteer hours. I think that's a good idea.
Yep.
And Dee, as we approach the colder weather seasons now, what do we need to know about caring for bats through cold weather temperatures?
Okay, if bats hibernate through the winter in Ontario, if you see a bat in the winter in Ontario, it needs help.
Oh, okay.
We will direct from there what needs to be done, but invariably they do need to come in.
I definitely did not know that. And I've definitely seen a bat in the winter before. This is going back years ago, but I remember seeing a little brown something on the snow and thinking, what is that? And getting closer and going, oh my goodness, that's a bat. Is he okay? And then just kind of walked away. I'm not proud of that. Yeah. But yeah, so if we see a bat in the winter, we're supposed to call you guys. What's the best way to get in touch with Foster Forest Wildlife? If
you're looking at an emergency, we always recommend a phone call. The number is 613-394-6667.
And you guys are pretty active through your Facebook page as well if people want to follow along with fundraisers and stuff that you guys have going on, correct?
Yes, yep.
Wonderful. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on today, Dee? I think I've got all my questions asked about bats and for Bat Week, and I think I'm definitely going to be looking into installing at least one bat house on our property real soon.
Well, if you're near a marsh, you definitely want to do that. One thing I would like to mention is in Ontario, under the Fish and Wildlife Act, it is illegal to kill any bats, even if they've invaded your attic.
Oh, okay.
So that's something a lot of people are not aware of. There are pest control places out there that can remove them. Some of them do it legally, some of them don't. So I'm just letting people know to ask the appropriate questions.
Yeah, ask the appropriate questions and talk to the appropriate people, the best people to get in touch with, Foster Forest Wildlife Orphanage. Thank you so much, Dee, for this interview today.
Very welcome.